Cleopatra's Tomb, Part 2, The Conspiracy. If you skipped the first part, you definitely need to watch it now to get a better understanding on this video. Where is Cleopatra's tomb? We posed that question last time, and in doing so, uncovered a sinister conspiracy to silence those who dare to speak up. Where did the leading experts go? Why are so many silent? Why do some actively fight against the notion that the tomb might be anywhere else but Alexandria? The answer to these questions takes us into the world of academia, corporate greed, and a mystery that may never be solved. Welcome back to this channel. Last time we talked about the groundbreaking discovery of a secret tunnel beneath a temple that could hold Cleopatra's body. We also discussed how, despite mainstream media dismissing the discovery as a hoax, it led many to believe that her tomb could lie hidden within the temple of Osiris at Taposiris Magna. This is a place nobody had ever considered before. That's where we left off. After our video dropped, we got an anonymous tip that totally flipped the script. You're looking at Martinez, but you should be looking at her partner. A single sentence that changed everything. This led us down a rabbit hole of financial records, declassified documents, and a controversy that the archaeological community has tried to bury for over a decade. Imagine this for a second. The man who approved Martinez's controversial dig, the legendary Dr. Zahi Hawass, has publicly stated, and I quote, "There is zero evidence Cleopatra is buried at Taposiris Magna. I believe she is underwater in Alexandria. So why would the world's most famous archaeologist support a multi-million-dollar excavation that he himself believes is destined to fail?" This question is the key to the entire mystery. Let's be clear, the academic consensus is that Martinez's theory, while romantic, is scientifically weak. Three major points are almost never mentioned in the mainstream press. Temples aren't tombs. In ancient Egypt, temples were for worshipping gods, not burying royalty. Burying a queen inside a major temple would be an unprecedented break from 3,000 years of tradition. It would be like burying Queen Elizabeth II under the altar of Westminster Abbey. The ancient sources are clear. The historian Plutarch, our main source, states Cleopatra built her mausoleum in Alexandria, next to her palace. All Ptolemaic dynasty tombs were located in the royal quarter of Alexandria, clustered around the tomb of Alexander the Great himself. The evidence is circumstantial. The coins and statues found at Taposiris Magna, they've been found all over Egypt. They prove the temple was active during her reign, not that she was buried there. It's like finding a Starbucks cup in a park and claiming it's Howard Schultz's secret headquarters. So we have a theory with no textual support, no archaeological precedent, and no definitive evidence. And yet, the dig continues. Why? Let me tell you about a psychological phenomenon called the Indiana Jones effect. It's our culture's obsession with the lone, heroic explorer who makes a world-changing discovery. Media outlets know this sells. A story about a passionate outsider, a woman challenging the old boys club of archaeology, is infinitely more compelling than a story about a team of academics carefully cataloging pottery shards. Kathleen Martinez isn't just an archaeologist. She's a character, and every good story needs a hero. But as we're about to see, sometimes the hero of the story is just a distraction. Archaeological digs are incredibly expensive. So who is funding the Taposiris Magna excavation? The official answer is a mix of Dominican government support and private donors. But when we dug deeper, we found the project's primary sponsor for its international exhibitions was National Geographic. And who was Zahi Hawass's partner for these blockbuster exhibitions? Frank Gadio, another archaeologist famous for his spectacular underwater discoveries and his multi-million-dollar corporate sponsorships. This reveals a hidden pressure in modern archaeology. To get funding, especially from private and corporate sources, you need more than a research question. You need a narrative, a quest, a treasure hunt. The search for Cleopatra's tomb isn't just a scientific discovery. It's a multi-million-dollar brand. But hold on. Before we continue, I have to reveal something that explains the silence of the other archaeologists. In 2011, at the height of the Arab Spring, Zahi Hawass was charged with corruption, specifically related to his dealings with National Geographic and other media partners. The charges were eventually dropped, but it sent a shockwave through the community. This isn't about one man, it's about a system where the line between science, media, and money has become dangerously blurred. The experts we contacted aren't afraid of Martinez. They're afraid of getting caught in the crossfire of a system where public statements, can have serious political and financial consequences. This brings us to a new and frankly disturbing hypothesis. What if the primary goal of the Taposiris Magna dig isn't to find Cleopatra's tomb? What if it's to search for it? Think about it. The search itself generates immense value, media value. It produces endless headlines, TV specials and documentaries. Financial value. It attracts sponsors and funding for exhibitions. Tourism value. It keeps Egypt in the global spotlight, portraying it as a land of constant, incredible discovery. This is crucial for a country where tourism accounts for over 10% of its GDP. Asterisk. In this scenario, Kathleen Martinez is the perfect public face. Her passionate, outsider story is compelling and media-friendly. She is the star of the show. Meanwhile, the actual scientific work at the site, which is valuable in its own right, for understanding the Ptolemaic era, gets a global platform it would never have otherwise. The project's success, therefore, isn't measured by finding the tomb. Its success is measured by the continuation of the search. Finding the tomb would end the story. The search keeps it alive. But there's one final piece of the puzzle. Remember the anonymous tip. You should be looking at her partner. We thought it meant Dr. Howes. We were wrong. In 2021, the Dominican Republic, Martinez's home country, signed a major tourism and investment deal with Egypt. Martinez was hailed as a key cultural ambassador who strengthened the ties between the two nations. Her high-profile search isn't just a scientific or media project. It's an act of international diplomacy, funded by nations to boost their global image and economic ties. So what is the great mystery of Cleopatra's missing tomb? The mystery isn't where she's buried. The mystery is how, in the 21st century, we've allowed the search for knowledge to become a global entertainment product, a tool for tourism and an instrument of soft power. We started this journey looking for a queen's body, but what we found was the anatomy of modern fame and influence. We've even so captivated by the romantic story of a lost tomb that we failed to see the real story happening right in front of us. The real tragedy isn't that we haven't found Cleopatra. It's that her legacy, the story of a brilliant female leader, is being used as a poster for a system that has very little to do with her. The search for Cleopatra tells us more about our own world's obsession with celebrity, media, and money than it does about hers. And perhaps that's the most valuable discovery of all. Do you agree? What do you think is the real story behind the search for Cleopatra's tomb? Join the conversation in the comments below with the word revealed, and let's discuss. I'll be personally responding to the most insightful comments, and if you believe that science deserves to be more than just a headline, subscribe, because our next investigation will take us deep into the secretive world of billionaires searching for biblical cities. And trust me, you definitely don't want to miss this.